Hey everyone, happy Monday. Super excited to talk about this topic with you because it really ties in with the podcast episode that I am featured on today, the Inspired Entrepreneur Podcast. So the episode title is How to Use Your Intuition to Grow Your Business. And I love that Allie, the host of the podcast, said right away, basically like, this isn't going to be as woo as you think it is because we use the word intuition. And I use that word intuition in my copy for my podcast intro because I just really believe that that is the number one thing that has guided me to where I am now with my business. And by intuition, I mean, for me, what does intuition mean for me? So basically, it's very simple. It's follow your heart and determine and listen to how you feel. So I've always used my intuition in my business because that is the one thing that I trust when it comes to making big decisions like investing in a coach or a program or something like that. I am a very impulsive person as well, and I feel like that's when my intuition is really strong. So for example, if I am going to join a mastermind or a coaching program and it's a pretty large investment, I of course will want to do it right away, right? But then I have to think, okay, so let me sleep on it and then I'll listen to how I'm feeling right when I get up in the morning. I always trust my first morning instinct to guide me. I always, whatever it is, I've learned throughout the years that how I feel comes really strong right away in the morning, and that's just me. So by using your intuition, I'm not using any special gifts or anything like that you might hear other people talk about. I don't do anything like that for my business, but I do listen to myself, and I don't listen to anybody else. And it sounds kind of like it's a rebellion or something, but it's not, because like I talked about on the podcast episode with Allie, I will get advice from a coach who makes multi 7 figures, and if it doesn't feel right for me in my business, then I won't do it. And it always comes out in my favor. For example, last year I was launching Standout Coaching Academy, and I had a landing page that I just wanted to run by my coach at the time. And he looked at it and he made a couple suggestions, and the suggestions that he made just seemed not quite aligned with how I wanted this to be. But then I thought, you know what? I'm paying him for his advice. I'm going to take it, but I'm also going to, there's a little fly, I'm also going to do what feels right for me. So I split tested it, and then I told him, I said, I'm not going to completely delete what I just did, but I'm going to take both sides of your advice. And he said, prove me wrong. And I said, okay. So I did, and my landing page converted way higher than his because he gave me, ideas for copy. He gave me ideas for placement within the landing page, and it was very different from how I normally do things. And the difference between the conversions were great. So that kind of was a way for me to prove to myself that whatever I feel works. There's no right or wrong way to do anything in your business. There's no right or wrong way to book clients. There's no right or wrong way to fill your program, because the variables are always different. The amount of people watching you during your launch, the amount of people listening to your podcast or on your list, whatever it might be. But the thing that you can keep constant is how you listen to yourself and how you pay attention to how you're feeling when it comes to any decision. So whether it's, purchasing lead pages or investing in a coach, always listen to what your heart says and your gut. Those are my 2 things. I always listen to them because they're always telling me what I really deep down really, really need. I don't go with up here so much. I always listen here. We talk a lot about that on that podcast because it's really important. Because she was almost very relieved to hear that I have success doing that, because a lot of people can say, use your intuition to guide you in your business, listen to your heart and your business will flourish and you'll have 6 figures if you just listen to your heart, because that sounds very easy and a little bit too soft. And anybody can say anything on the internet, right? Anybody can sit behind their computer and type something out or say whatever they want. And some people are going to take it to heart and listen to it and think that it will apply to them. But if we just listen to ourselves and how we're going to, and make the decision that what we feel matters, and we're going to always use that as our compass as we grow our business. Whether it's, working with a client, if it feels a little off, then maybe we don't want to work with that client even though they came to us. There's all kinds of ways we can really listen in. There's no checklist for success. There's no as many workflows as we can have in our business. Your intuition is going to pop up when you need it to. So it's important to always be listening and paying attention. So that requires you quieting your mind, and it requires you not signing up for that hustle mentality lifestyle that's probably keeping you so busy you don't even pay attention to how you feel. And then it's just about surrounding yourself with people that make you feel amazing and light and high vibe. It's all about that. Whoever you surround yourself in, your environment is the most important, absolute most important piece to your business. So if your environment is the most important, who are you surrounding yourself with online? Are you doing this by yourself? And you're sitting in your office hoping for the best every single day? Or are you surrounding yourself with fellow students or a course creator, a coach, people on social media? Who are you surrounding yourself with? And really pay attention to that. If there are people that bring you down, if there are people that make you feel really low, then maybe we need to mute those people and silence them a little bit and pay attention to the people who make you feel high vibe, because that's important. We cannot help other people make big changes in their life if we're living as low, way down here. We can type, like I said, we can type anything out, we can say anything, but if we're really feeling like crap and we're not paying attention to those feelings, you're going to feel worse, and your business is going to feel really hard to do when you sit down. So that's really important to think about. So kind of got off topic a little bit, but it all leads back to just intuition, listening to yourself, and trusting that more than any other coach, more than any other course, any blog post, you know what's best for you. And I think sometimes my students might get a little annoyed when they ask me a question like, should I do an extra webinar during my launch? Or should I do this or that? And I say, well, how do you think it will make you feel to do that? And I used to get really annoyed with coaches who would ask me that, because I would think to myself, I don't want to pay attention to how I feel. I just want to do as much as possible so I can get the most results. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Once I got off of that and realized they're asking me how I feel more than anything else, more than how many people do you have on your list? What's your strategy? They never asked those questions first. They always said, how does that make you feel? And as cliche as that might sound sometimes, it's for a reason. Paying attention to that. When you're sitting down at your computer and it feels like, oh my gosh, I have to do this again today. Oh, this is going to be pointless. I feel exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. I'm struggling. I'm burning out. All of those things. Get off the computer and go sit and be quiet and listen to yourself. Your body's trying to tell you something if you're not feeling like doing something that you set out to do that brought you so much joy in the beginning. So listen. I hope this was helpful. If you guys want, I would love it if you guys would listen to the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast with Allie, because it's a great episode. I absolutely loved it. I had a cold when I did it. I remember I felt bad, but you can't really tell too much. You can tell I'm a little sick, but it's not too bad. But it was great talking with her on her podcast, and we have an exciting week on our podcast too, because we have Gemma Bernard, the Manifesting Moms, and you guys definitely have a lot of great content to digest, to listen to. But remember, don't just be a sponge all of the time. Sometimes we need to just wring out the sponge, start fresh, and listen to ourselves. We can listen to all the podcasts and do all of these things all the time, but they're not really putting us into an inspired action state. So just really be intentional with what you listen to and what you do, and do things in small bites, and everything will work out when it's supposed to. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.